Hey YouTube, Austin Vintage Warfare here today to talk to you about a nice Mauser rifle. This is the Model 24, or the FN Model 24 Belgian Mauser. It is a nice little waffle slinger, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Alright, so the FN Model 24 meaning the year that it started production. It was made by Fabrique Nationale in 1924, and it was produced all the way up till 1964. You'll also make the connection that this looks a lot like a VZ-24. The Czech version of this rifle is basically what that is. But this rifle has so many different names, and it's been used by so many different countries that the list is insane. I mean, I read through the list of just how many designations this rifle had and how long it was in service, and it's mind-blowing. Basically, the reason that this rifle came to be is basically that after World War I, FN started producing these. They were derivatives of the German Gewehr 98 used in World War I, and later the Germans developed the K98. I have one right there. I'm going to compare them later on in the video. But they basically sold these to all kinds of people, but ironically not the Belgian government. They had a couple of 22 trainer rifles for this rifle that they actually ordered for their government, but they didn't order this before World War II began, which I find kind of ironic. Actually, this rifle really started getting its real first combat usage in World War II, but not by the Belgians, actually the Germans. When they had invaded and the Belgian armed forces capitulated to them, the Germans took these and redesignated them as the Gewehr 220. And basically that would go to their second line units, probably like supply, logistics. I imagine maybe some artillery guys got their hands on these, stuff like that, like behind the front line sort of stuff. You have the K98 for the front line units there, but I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, China used these also in the 30s. I believe it was the Type 77 rifle, is what they called this thing. Very, very long list of wars and armies used these. So now let's take a look at the weapon compared to a German K98, and you'll see the key differences. Alright, so now we got these bad boys side by side. On the bottom you have a German K98K, and then on the top you have the Model 24. Right off the bat, you can see the first difference is probably going to be the straight versus bent bolt on this K98, and the Model 24 is more like a original German Gewehr 98 in terms of the straight bolt. Okay, so you can see also this difference here. You have a sling area on the German K98K, a little bit more innovative, while the Model 24 has these sling swivels here on the back of the weapon under the stock, and then you also have one in the front up there. Now you can see both of these rifles have these ramp sights. They look a little different, but they do the same thing, and it's the same idea. Although the Belgian one is only sighted out to 1900 meters, which I find interesting, and the German one is sighted in at 2000 meters. Now again, this is for volley fire purposes. They weren't out there thinking they were going to nail targets at 2000 meters with this. So the safeties on these weapons both function the same way. So your right side, flip to the right, is what locks your bolt up. You cannot manipulate the bolt with that locked to the right, and you flip it up, and you flip it to the left, and you can now manipulate the bolt. Same with the K98. This one is already on fire. That is how you manipulate the bolt and the safety. So to load these weapons, or Mausers in general, you have your 8mm Mauser on a stripper clip, and you have a cutout here. And what you do is you place the stripper clip inside of that hole, or that little cutout. You press down, and the rounds will fit right into the internal box magazine fixed to the rifle. You lock the bolt forward, the stripper clip comes out, and you are good to go. So as for the markings on these weapons, you have FN's logo there. You have Model 24 on the receiver as well, or the top portion of the receiver. You have your serial number on the side of the receiver right there. This one is 8666. Ooh, that's, I don't know how I feel about that. You also have the full-on name of FN. I cannot pronounce any of that, so I'm not even going to try. But you can see Hirschdahl on there. It's really neat. It's really cool how that manufacturer is still around today, producing some pretty crazy weapons. So that by itself I find really interesting. Now, the front sight post is different. It is more of a, I want to say a little bit flashier than its German counterparts. Usually they just have the V-notch that pokes up there, but you have these pieces that come up over the sides that are honestly really cool. I love the aesthetic. So another cool thing about this weapon is it has 2 swivels for a sling. You have one on the side of the weapon in the front, and then one on the bottom, and then you also have one on the back near where that crook is, where you put your hand, and one on the bottom of the stock itself. Pretty neat. Alright guys, it's going to do it for me today. It's been Austin Vintage Warfare. You know what? There's so much going on with the channel right now and work and all that stuff. I'm really happy for the support. It's almost 7,000. That's insane. I got like literally 700 subscribers just yesterday. I mean, that's insanity to me. I did do a poll talking about a Patreon account. I still don't know how I feel about it. I'm coming up with a tier list. Once I do come up with a tier list, I'll throw it out to you guys, and if it looks good, then I'll run with that going forward. I also have to make sure monetarily the incentives that I'm doing for you guys match up with the cost. You know what I mean? Math stuff, and I'm not really good at that. Didn't go to college. So I just, again, thank you guys for the support. I want to thank Pop-Tart DS for sending me that MAB French pistol. That's going to be coming. I'm going to do a review on that. That should be really, really interesting. I know that a lot of those pistols were actually based off of some early FN designs, so that'll be pretty cool to cover. And I need to cover more baguette launchers. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.